Hey man, well first of all, I want to thank you for for doing this. You know what I mean? For carving out a little bit of time for Candid Yams. You know, and basically what I just want us to talk about is, I mean, I was with you for 17 years. And I often get the question, well, what is it like playing with Bruce? And it's nothing like people really expect. People, I mean, you know what I mean? As far as musicians.
Well, here's the reason for that, because I've had to deal with this my whole career. When you have big hits, either from 1 to 7, whatever, I had 5 in those early years. When you have big hits, you have a situation where you have a lot of people who know a little bit about you. If you're someone like me, who's my attempt is to be sort of a musical polymath, to sort of go broad and have a broad interest in music, and always explore here and try this and move my music into using more of the jazz language. Okay, now I'm going to go back, because I love old time gut bucket music, folk music, traditional music, and now I'm going to move into that thing. Well, now I'm going to make a jazz trio record with Jack D. Jeanette. Right. Well, now I'm going to go play with Ricky Skaggs, Grateful Dead, whatever. And so most people, so that situation leads to my world where you have, if you're known at all, it's usually in 2 ways. Like, I became known as this hit guy, by a lot of people. And then they typecast me as that, and then they come to our concerts and they go, well, what the hell is this? Right. And if they don't like it, I hope they don't come back, because they're seeing the true me. Yeah, and if you've kept up with the journey through the years, then
you would know what's happening.
Be surprised at our concert. So the other way to have success is to have a smaller following, more of a cult following that really knows what you do. Right, exactly. And so that's what it's gone from this sort of big pop thing, image-wise. Right. So now it's really about, for the most part, people coming because they know what to expect, because they're really deeply involved in the whole journey, the whole idiosyncratic journey that I've gone on. Right. So people ask you what's it like. Yeah. And so what do you say? Well, and that's exactly. It brings me to my point. Is like I say, it's completely wide open, because I came out of a jazz background. I started playing jazz with my dad, so my head was already. My thing was easy for you. Exactly, my head was already open. But I do admit, it's like it was a learning curve for me too. Because I had to get back into that train of thought and really playing, and really believing. And really buy into the fact that you really wanted me to explore constantly. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. And I learned a ton, man, by doing that. And once I finally locked into the concept of that, the chakras just came completely off. Yeah, it's very free. Yeah, and so to me, I tell cats, well, that's a part of it. The pop thing and the hits, that's a part of it. And the grooves and all that shit, but that's only like a minute part of playing drums with Bruce Hornsby. You really have to be multifaceted. You can't do that gig if you're not multifaceted. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's ranging. It's a broad range stylistically that we cover. Yeah. And in my last many years, I've really pissed off my audience, because I'm into modern classical music, which most everyone in the world just can't stand. It's just so dissonant and so out. But I find a way to move that, to use some of that language in my songwriting. Yeah. So, look, I'm a songwriter first, but I come from an improvising background. And I'm restless. Yeah. As a leader, I'm looking to entertain the band. Yeah, right. Which you do great. Okay, watch this, watch out. Right. You think it's how it goes, but I got a different idea. Right. So break it down, and now I'm going to lead us to a new place. And that's the fun of it. Yeah, exactly. And we got to a point where we were doing that so seamlessly and effortlessly. Yes.
it was, yeah, it was really a beautiful thing to me, man. And it really, I mean, you know, it's like every night was such a fresh experience, you know. And so
because not only that, not only what the approach allowed for it to always be fresh. The fact that we would play over 100 of my songs every year.
Yeah,
that's another one that keeps it fresh, because it's not like here's the set list for the year, or for the most part here's the set list. We might throw one or two different things just to keep it interesting. That is so not me.
Yeah,
and so that those two aspects of the gig together. To me, hopefully make it the ideal musician's gig, because
it does.
You can't be too bored.
No,
you know?
no. It does. It makes it the ideal musician's gig, and what it also does too is it exercises your true professionalism to say, okay, I got 100 freaking songs. I gotta have a clue. I gotta really know what the hell's going on with those songs, because you can't be free inside of that until you know the foundation.
That's exactly
you know what
right.
I mean?
You need to know the territory, know the language, know the material.
Right.
And then, but the good news is, then once you know, and once you've done that homework, you're not going to be stuck in the, here it is, the same old thing.
Right.
Because again, I'm restless.
Yeah.
I'm looking to move it and have a truly creative, spontaneous moment, you know, every few minutes.
Yeah, but it helps you. I mean, you know, any musician that has played with you, and you know, I've talked to quite a few of them, spent a lot of time with a lot of them. We all feel the same way. It's a growth process. You continue to grow, because you gotta digest shit, digest it, spit it out, digest it, spit it out. You know,
I'm a really different musician now than I was 30 years ago. People come up to me and say, "Oh, I'm your biggest fan, and I love Mandolin Rain, Valley Road, Way It Is, Every Little Kiss, End of the Innocence." And my standard line is, "Well, thank you very much, but you've missed the best part."
You're right, I know.
Because I truly feel that way. It's like I had these hits, and then the music got better. You know, got more interesting. So, and I think it leads into why we're here, which is our duo gigs from 2014.
Right.
When we were out doing the duo tour, the Pat and Bruce tour, or Pat, Bruce, and Sonny. And because I think that's exhibit A for exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, it is. But for me, because I had done the Noisemakers prior to you asking me to do the solo thing, it really prepared me for the duo thing. Because really, without the rest of the band being there was a whole lot more ground that I could cover. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you gave me no boundaries whatsoever, so I could just fly. Yeah, exactly. Which made it a lot of fun. Makes it a lot of fun, you know?
Well, yeah, you know, to be honest, the fewer musicians on stage, the more free it can be, because it's just like when I play solo. It's just like the old Trogs tape. It's sort of the big, hilarious, goofy tape of 5 cockney, nutty young guys trying to make a record. It's hilarious. The guy said, we need a producer. We need one fucking mind on it.
Yeah, right.
And so for me, that's the line. When I'm playing solo, they're just one
mind. Yeah.
And so I can go literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Now with another guy, it's not quite that free, but it's the next freest thing.
Yeah,
so
right.
When it's just the two of us, I can really, and you would see this here, is I'll just go to a new place, and you're just right with me, and it becomes, I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Yeah. Right.
Because it was so much fun, and this is an interesting aspect of this that I think that people who watch this will see, if the videos are long enough to portray this, is that, okay, when we did that tour, Sonny, we didn't hardly play any of my hits.
Yeah.
Almost none.
None,
we never played Way It Is, or Mandolin Rain, or
Innocence, or any of that.
But in a blues style, it just didn't do it. Every Little Kiss never played that. And it was all about what was happening now, which was much more free and open and passionate and adventurous. So, but people could tell there's a discernible feeling, a palpable feeling when people can see. People are not stupid.
Right.
People who come to the gigs, people don't underestimate the intelligence of your audience, because in our case, a lot of our audience is pretty smart, and they can see, they sense that two people just having a great time,
Right.
playing freely, just playing music and just laughing and going about their business,
Right.
trying something crazy.
Jay-Z, yeah.
And so the response from the audience is pretty intense.
Mhm.
They're just digging what we're doing. And we're playing some bitonal, Where No One's Mad, which became The Blinding Light of Dreams.
Right.
That's just a straight bitonal thing. One hand in C and one hand in F sharp.
Yeah, right.
Tritone, the Diabolus musicus, the devil's interval.
Yeah.
That's what we're playing.
One of my favorite one of my favorite tunes that we used to do is "Where's the Bat."
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these tunes are kind of nutty and maybe a little frivolous in their lyrical content. It's life in the psychotropics,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Right. Right.
And it's fun.
Hey man, but when you came up with the concept of the duo thing, what took you there? I mean, what brought you to that point where you said, "Oh, let me try this with Sonny and see what we have." I mean, because you just dropped it on me. I mean, I think we were on the road with the rest of the band, and you said, "Hey man, well, what was your train of thought?"
Exactly what happened. I had to think about it for a second when you said this. Wind back 7 years. So this tour that we're talking about was 2014. And so this whole idea was started with Pat Metheny, my old friend, who I just talked to yesterday.
Yeah.
2 days ago.
How's he doing? He's good?
He's okay. He's doing
Good.
well.
Good.
He called me and said, "Hey, listen, how'd you like to do a tour? The two of us do a tour together." He said, "But it's mostly my tour, so I'd like for you to open for me, if you would, solo."
Okay.
And I'm thinking, well, solo in some of these outdoor venues, the smaller amphitheaters like the Meyer Gardens in Grand Rapids, or say if we played Chastain Park or the Chautauqua Auditorium, outdoor venues. It's tough solo. I thought. He's going to have his whole band.
Right.
So I'm out there playing solo. It's a lonely job. You can hear the people talking to what they're talking about. You can really hear it.
Okay.
That to not enter your consciousness, and in my case, piss me off.
Right. Because I've seen you stand up, walk off the stage. I tell this story in my clinics. Walk off the stage and wait until they shut their mouths and want to hear some music before you sat back down again.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I'm too old to tolerate that.
Yeah.
I insist. I'm not trying to be a dick about it.
Yeah, right.
It's just, man, especially if it's the band, I don't care. Because we get into our thing. We're playing for each other, for ourselves.
Right.
And y'all are here too. We hope you like it.
Right, but
I think you'll be entertained because it's a very fun, joyful noise that we make.
Yeah, right.
We have a great time playing. Everyone always talks about, wow, you guys are up there laughing, smiling, because of the approach. But okay, so I'm thinking to myself, well, this sounds like a lonely, semi-miserable night if I'm doing this solo.
Right.
So I thought about it. I said, okay, I'm not feeling the solo thing, Pat, but how about if we do it as a duo with Sonny? And Sonny, he's a big fan of yours, so he was instantly interested just on a personal and respect level. So, so he said, "Yeah, well, that's great. I'm all for it." And so that's how this was born.
Yeah, right.
It came about because of Pat calling me to do a tour with him again, with me playing solo. And I said, "Hey, well, how about a deal?" So that's when I came on the bus and sprung it on.
Well, it was really cool, man, because. I mean, for all the drummers that are going to watch this, and just anybody who may be interested too, for me, I had to change my entire thinking as far as my equipment as far as the gear that I was using. You know, I sized the kit down and I added a lot of esoteric colors.
Yes.
I was using a cajon as my throne. You know, obviously the washboard came over there from, you know, the noisemaker stuff, you know, but all kinds of just little goofy cymbals and all shakers and, you know, because at one point I'm playing a shaker and one stick in the hand. And so for me, it just,
that's fantastic
I
stuff.
totally had to like switch what I usually would use with the noisemakers on an equipment level, as well as what we did musically, making it totally
It's
different.
more subtle. You're just playing with one other guy. It's not the big loud sound.
Right.
So you can get more textural and play a little shaker
Yeah.
or a little cuica, whatever you want, and it's going to be heard.
Right, exactly.
Whereas if we're just raging away on White Wheel Limousine or whatever
Yeah.
we're doing,
You're not going to hear that stuff.
won't be really noticed.
Yeah.
You know, so
But
that's great.
a good learning point too, and what I really had a chance to exercise for a lot of players that will watch this, is the dynamic range that, I mean, I've always been conscious of that because, you know, I study music and stuff, and I always try to play as musically as possible. But with you in that duo situation, the dynamic range was so wide. Because there were times when I was full out wide open too, and you were too, but there were times where we were down really super, super low. Because it's
some of the best moments.
Yeah, exactly.
Those moments.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
So, I have my antenna is always up for with the band too, as you know. One of my typical moves is
Yeah, right.
or you two play. Just change the sound.
Right.
And because if we're just screaming the whole time,
Oh yeah, no, that don't
it's
work.
a bit wearisome,
Oh,
to
yeah.
the audience.
Yeah.
And to me, and I get it.
Yeah.
I've been in many a concert where they're just roaring away and they just don't stop.
Yeah.
And they're 20 minutes later, they're still
roaring.
away. And you just go, you know what? It's kind of unmusical.
Well, yeah.
I'm not trying to damn anybody. I won't name names because I can't think of any specific names.
Yeah.
But we've all been together.
Oh yeah, well it definitely becomes unmusical after a while. I mean, like on, you know, when I was doing Earth, Wind and Fire, Maurice was like that. I mean, he wanted to make sure that the music it just breathes, and so it becomes.
So you up to that.
Yeah. You got to be musical, but that duo thing with me really said, okay, I'm gonna be playing soft a lot more than I'm gonna be playing loud, roaring.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Which is cool.
It's an acoustic gig.
Yeah,
It's an acoustic
which is
gig.
really cool because I got a chance to really get inside of some really technical stuff, you know, that's really delicate that you can't do when you're just slogging. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I like that, you know, that range, man. I like being able to swing that pendulum. You know, that dynamic pendulum is really important. Do you remember the first time that we played together? You remember that gig?
Yeah, it was some bluegrass festival.
Yeah, and I had no
rehearsal.
Right, no rehearsal with you, nothing. That was
I'm a terrible leader, the slackest leader. You know, I'm a leader that was a side man. You know, I'm that guy too, and so I'm not.
But you know what? You know what I learned from that is that, you know, you leave it all to you trust your intuition when you hire a cat that you've hired the right guy. You know what I mean? But I don't. But yeah. But I'm not. You know, like when I'm going into a new situation, you want to be prepared. You want to feel like, okay, I'm ready to go. That's not gonna happen on this gig. You know.
Well, and that was a hard gig to start up with because it was one of those festival things where there's no sound check.
Yeah, right.
And so no rehearsal, no sound check. Hey, hi, Sonny, I'm Bruce. Nice to meet you. Now let's go play the gig. That's hard.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how good the gig was. I seem to remember it was a bit sonically. It was a bit just a
Yeah, it was a roar.
A roar fest.
Yeah. Which didn't make me feel that great about my performance either, just because, you know, it's sonically it was so unsettling not to be able to, like, because when we play in a situation where I can really hear you, you know, then that's when that communication starts. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. This was just get through the gig. I see you playing, but I can't hardly hear you.
Yeah.
You too, and you too. I see you playing. I'm trying to hear something. You know, it's just difficult. And since it's no sound check, you're just left to what you're given. And
Yeah.
in that case, we weren't given much.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Horrible sound on stage. So right, I do remember it. I don't remember the second gig. Do you?
No, I don't remember the
Maybe
second gig.
The second gig probably was the first gig in a longer tour run, meaning we probably had a few rehearsals.
Yeah,
I
right.
just imagine.
I think I remember that. Yeah, exactly. I think we did a couple of things and then we went to Williamsburg
Yeah.
and we sat down for like a couple of weeks and really went through everything, or the beginnings of the library, because we never, after being in the band for 16, 17 years, still haven't got to the end of the library, you know what I mean? But we covered a lot of ground.
And since then, I'm on my third record since you took off.
Right.
And so there's 30 more.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So look, I'm just not stopping. I'm lucky. I've had this sort of renaissance in my career as far as sort of the attention it's been getting, and so but I tell you, when Chad came in, he's great.
Yeah.
But it's of course, just like you would expect, it took us a little bit to get close to the level where we were when you were in the band, because you were there for so long.
Yeah.
It was probably a year off or whoever, Bet, J-Lo, something like that. But yes, so we're getting there. It's pretty damn fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Sonny days. The Sonny days are still looked back upon fondly by a lot of our fans. Who go, this is. But so we're winning them over.
Yeah.
Chad is no joke.
Yeah, but and the thing of it is, regardless of how great the guys are, that's a whole different thing that you're looking for to get. You know what I mean? So
that's right. And he's doing a great. He and John, the new fiddle mandolin player, and Gib, they're doing great.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did get to a point after all those years where it was really just so loose and free, and we just knew we could read minds.
Right. Well, that's, man, I'm really happy for you, because the concept of that, no one's really doing that, man. You know what I mean?
Well, most people have no idea what we really do. Most people really have no idea. They have no idea who I really am. They don't know I've worked for Spike, with Spike and for him for 7 years.
Right.
People don't know that. So much that blah blah blah. You can keep naming. Yeah. So, but I can't be bothered with that. I do it for me.
Right, exactly.
And also for my God, for my band, for my craft.
Right, exactly, man.
That you were in for well over half my pretty long career.
Yeah, and the other element to this thing too is, is like we recorded every single night.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's another pressure. When you think, if you let it become a pressure, you know what I mean? But if you free yourself and just play and have fun, then you can get over that hump. But to know that it's being recorded, multi-tracked every single night,
Yeah. Well, you know why I did that? I started doing it. I didn't do it until I don't know why we started to do it. We started doing it when Mike Baker got in the band, and that's what led to Here Come the Noisemakers, the first live record.
Right.
Mike and Lan Richards were on.
Right.
But I realized as I was going through all this, because I would dutifully listen to a ton of it, it was really educational for my sorry ass, because I learned the sound of me sucking. I learned the sound vocally, pianistically, just conceptually. And I should have been doing it years ago.
Yeah.
I learned a lot to learn. So that's been great for me, and I've continued to do it. We do the same for my solo concerts, and man, I go.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, you remember
habit you have, to myself.
Yeah. So, and I think it puts everybody on high alert like that, because to me, time has always been a stickler. I've always been a stickler about time and feel, right?
Yeah.
So you remember the night you came to me and you say, man, we were able to take this piece from this and edit it with this.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yes. Right.
Tell that. Tell. Because I don't. I mean, you did it. So.
Okay. The craziest one was for our live record, 2013, Bride of the Noisemakers.
Right. Okay.
Featuring the great cover of the Miserable Couple.
Yeah, the greatest cover ever, man. That's the
It's
one.
one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Uncle Charles in that one.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah. Right.
Going with a cigarette.
Right. But JT in that gown, dude.
Yeah. You can't beat it, man. The initials getting married.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So we had White Wheel Limousine, one of our sort of standard,
Right.
big sort of grand epic pieces. It starts off here, it goes here, it goes there, and it ends up in a big slam moment. We called that the Five Cities Comp.
Huh.
Now it's probably, you know what, I have it right over
The Five
here.
Cities Comp. See, I didn't never. Okay.
Well, this is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Here's the lovely couple.
Yeah, right. That's it. That's it.
Shoot, it doesn't say the times in the back here, but I think the White Wheel Limousine, yeah, Little Sadie and the White Wheel Limousine, and Just One More,
Yeah, right.
and another George
yeah,
Jones,
right.
and so that's where you and JD get the
Yeah, we get a chance to like pull up Black Matters.
John Carlos and Tommy
Yeah,
Smith.
yeah,
Go sing and I love it.
yeah.
Sometimes when you wouldn't do it, I go, "Hey, come on, man!
Come on, man. You're right. You'll be waiting for it.
I deserve to get it."
Yeah.
Anyway, so so this is sort of the quintessential story that describes what you're saying, which is it's a great compliment to you. So we ranged far afield for this Bride of the Noisemakers. We listened to songs from 3 or 4 years. So say 2009 to 2012. That sounds like 3 years, but it's 4. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right.
And so I said, "Oh my God, this sounds crazy, Daigle." The poor, beleaguered, and besieged Daigle.
Yeah, right.
Being embattled and embittered.
Beleaguered. Yeah, that's him. Love
That's
Daigle,
him.
man. Love him.
Okay, so I said to Daigle, "Okay, I know this sounds wacky, but I'd like to take this from whatever, just this from Tucson, and then go to Des Moines here. Yeah, Tucson 09 to Des Moines 2012, then over to Hyannis Kid Cod Melody Tent for the bridge. You know, so that kind of thing happened.
Right.
And what was amazing out is that we were able to do this because your ass you were so steady, and we weren't using. You're not before I start the song.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But wherever I was, you somehow sort of gradually move it to this certain tempo that was rock solid and so consistent. So we were able to
Well, put a
comp
Yeah,
from
yeah.
1 year in one place to 3 years later, and it was incredibly consistent.
Oh,
so
well, thank you, man.
That's what you're talking about, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's really impressive. It's
Well,
your thing.
thank you, man. But you know what, Bruce? What I would do every night is you would start a song sometimes, and after a while, I kind of knew where you wanted it to sit. You know what I mean?
Because sometimes if I feel like you've come in, I tend to be a guy who I'll tend to start things too fast and go, "Oh hell no," you know.
Right.
And then you'll do. But sometimes it'll be the reverse, where
Right.
you'll start it, and I feel it's a little quick for the way I'm feeling right
Right.
now. And so I'll kind of do that thing.
Right, right.
I'll kind of
Lean back, yeah. And I know exactly what that means.
And yeah, exactly. I'm a little.
Yeah.
I'm a little.
Yeah. But then we just make the adjustment, and then
Yeah.
both you and I kind of really instinctively knew when it hit that spot where it just kind of flowed,
Well, that's that's what only years will allow you to get to that place where you're able to move tempos around, and it's not sort of unnoticeable.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Hopefully, to the people,
Yeah.
to the self-appointed arbiters of taste musicians out there going, "Oh God, they're just dragging like crazy."
Yeah, right. But I think you and I being in it are a whole lot more sensitive to that than the average listener. You know what I mean?
Probably so.
Yeah,
Probably.
especially in a live setting. You know what I mean? It's like there's just so much give and take.
Well, it's funny. There's a perfect example. listening to this stuff and I made a few notes about it. One of the psychotropics. I know what it was. It's Talk of the Town from Katona. I started too quick, but then probably not that quick. Something really fast, and then you come in, and then all of a sudden it's 6, and you see me look over at you like,
yeah,
thank you,
yeah, right.
Mr. Sorry over here, just getting a little hyper,
Well, no, because what affects that is when we. Like if you have a standard set list that you play this song, this set list every single night, those transitions become cemented in you too. But when you change the set list, you may come out of something, totally different and then go into that tune, which affects. So, I always knew, the first couple of bars, we're going to adjust this thing. We're going to make sure, we get it to where, he needs it to be so you can feel comfortable, Yeah.
Well, you can hear that happening, but it's so natural. It just flows. To me, it flows.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, the naysayer may go, "Oh God, I can't believe it," But I feel like it really flows.
Yeah.
One of the baddest things on here to me, the hill.
Oh
now,
yeah.
Talk about you're on the Dirbeck.
Yeah, the djembe. No, Dirbeck. Oh, did I play Dirbeck? What? What did you call it?
The Dirbeck.
No, the Dirbeck.
I don't know.
The Dirbeck. No, I had the Dirbeck out when we did the duo thing. I think that's the cajon that I'm playing King of the Hill on.
Cajon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually
you went from Turkey to Mexico. You went from Turkey to Mexico.
It's called a Dirbeck. That's Sonny Emory on the Dirbeck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
TV is full of happy families. Dads are strong, moms all seem to care. But real life never seems to compare. Right now, college is
I played the cajon on that version of King of the Hill that you're talking about, though.
That's what it called. I wasn't sure what it was because it's hard to see it.
Cajon.
You're leaning with because I'm kind of blocking
the
instrument on the picture, and so I knew. But it's again. I started off fast, and you know what? It stays there. It doesn't get faster, but it is a serious tempo.
Right.
And you know what? But the great thing about it to me, this is how I feel, is I feel like at this serious up-tempo thing, we're playing so relaxed. Me and you. I and you are playing, and it just has a great loose vibe.
But thank you, man.
It's really fun.
I love you, dude. I love you, man. You're the absolute fucking best, dude.
I don't take this shit too seriously, man.
Which is cool. Exactly.
I take this shit real serious. I take what I do serious as a motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, stay safe, man. All right, buddy. Love you, man. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye. Like and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that button. Like and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that button. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that button.